Welcome to the Material Science Lab. My name is Miss Miller, and I'm going to give you a tour of the lab. When you first come in the door, you'll see your coats. The only experiments that need to wear a coat are those messing with chemicals, which include the polymer synthesis, cutting and mounting because you're using epoxy. You're looking in the microscope, you'll be etching with acid, so you need to wear one then. Of course, any day you feel more comfortable wearing a coat, you're welcome to, but we're just trying to cut down on laundry. After you get your coat, they're arranged here by size, small, medium, and large. There's some extra large in another location I'll show you. But after you get your coat, you will find the goggles over here next to Dr. Hilt's lab in their own little cubby, so get you a goggle if you don't have any. We recommend you buy your own personal goggles from either Home Depot, Lowe's, or Amazon so that you're not sharing goggles. Be known though that I will be cleaning the goggles after each use. Beyond the goggles, you'll see cubbies where you can put your backpacks, and in the winter there are hangers to hang up your coats. At the end of the day, when you're finished, you can see these bins here for used goggles and used coats for being cleaned. Now you're ready to enter the lab, so we'll go in here. This is room 71. And most of the experiments will take place in this room. The first station you see here is number 4, phase diagram. And I have it set up for phase. That's my job really, is to purchase all your materials and set your stations up. If we move on around here this way, I call this the furnace room because we have all the furnaces on the back wall there, ventilated. And also in this room is the Instron. This is a 100,000 Newton Instron, where you'll be testing steel, and that's labeled as Station 3. Finishing up over on this side, let's look around the cabinets. The first thing we see here is the acid spill kit. I put this here because we will be doing our acid etching in this hood, and so I've got the spill kit right behind you in case there is a spill. Here you see gloves, and my intention is to have gloves scattered throughout the lab so you don't have to go far to find them. So here are gloves for the phase diagram lab. Taking a look at the cabinets, we have every cabinet labeled with what's in there. Here's the safety manual and other manuals. Opening this first cabinet up, you'll see in here Ziploc bags to store specimens in, all kinds of sizes, aluminum foil, and the ASM handbooks are stored in here along with the safety manual. Below this cabinet are the desiccators where you'll store your metal samples. These desiccators have dry right in the bottom, and it will dry up any moisture and keep your samples dry and hopefully prevent them from rusting from one week to the next. Down below here you see drawers for MSE 202 groups, so we're kind of grouped differently this year because of COVID, but certainly these drawers are available for you to store any samples you have, and you want to hold them here for next week. Moving through the other cabinets, here we have stir plates and hot plates, furnace bricks, furnace accessories. When we do use the furnace, this is an important cabinet. It has heat gloves and shields and things to protect you when you're using the furnace. You'll use the heat gloves, of course, with phase diagram. And there's tongs for getting things in and out of the furnace. Below the furnace supplies, I see a drawer here with calipers and micrometers and thermocouples. These items, for the most part, will be out at your station when you're working. But if for some reason they're not there and you need them, you're welcome to come to these drawers, look for the tag of what you need, and help yourself. As I mentioned, this is the furnace room with all the furnaces. You don't really use those in 202 specifically, but you will in 407 and 408. But in this room is the Instron for your testing of steel, and this touch screen is your control software. Behind the Instron is a cabinet with accessories. Also in this room is a MTS mechanical tester that is a dynamic tester and used mostly for research. Okay, that's the furnace room, and then we span around here to the main room. This first station here is for grinding and polishing. We've set up 2 stations so we can have 2 people grinding and polishing each week. And so it's a little different from the video lesson where all the grinding is on one side and the polishing on the other, but it just corresponds to grinding and polishing all on one side. Now the wheels are set up for grinding on the first 2 wheels and polishing on the next 2, and the grinding paper and polishing supplies should be out at your station for you to use. Here we've come to our first sink, and this is an important spot because this is where we have our eye wash station. This is like a spraying eye wash, so you can move it around wherever you need. Back behind this sink is another eye wash station. You'll see here the shower. It's up above you, and the activation is this lever here. For any reason you need the safety shower, this is where you come, and there's a second station on the other end of the lab I will show you. Here is the hood behind the polishing station. Since we're not polishing on week 1, I have the second phase diagram lab set up in this hood. And next to this hood is a cabinet with all the glassware and chemical supplies you might need. So if you don't see something you want, you might find it in this cabinet. In the glassware cabinet, you see a variety of beakers of different size. This one here in the center has spatula and stir rods. And going down, you'll see more beakers, weigh boats there in the back, and some clean pipette, transfer pipette. On down here, we have cotton swabs in these sacks, and those are tongs. You need those a lot. The bottom shelf has some mortar and pestle and crucibles, and more crucibles down here, and plastic bottles for storing. Across from the grinding and polishing station are the microscopes. We have 2 now that are just positioned 6 feet apart here with tables in the middle. So we'll have 2 operators at each microscope. Moving on down the lab, the next workbench is where cutting and mounting is set up. And so you'll begin with cutting. There are 2 sides that you'll be operating at. One side has the hacksaw and the cutoff saw, and the other has the hacksaw and the precision saw. Across from the precision saw is the station for mounting. So this operator will cut his specimen and mount it while the other is using the cutoff saw, and then you'll trade places. You see here by epoxy mount and accessories cabinet, I intend to have most of it out for you. everything you need, but if you aren't seeing something that you want, you might find it in these cabinets. I should have everything you need for mounting your epoxy samples out on the hood or on this cart. You see back behind the cart a spill kit in case you have a solvent spill. Back behind the vacuum pump on the cart, you see the supply of chemicals. The cutoff saw. Behind the cutoff saw is a press and a hot mount, which you will use in 407, 408. Behind the cutoff saw on the other side is our second sink. So we have another eye wash on a sprayer. And if you look to your right, you see the second eye wash and shower station by the exit. Across from the second shower is another garbage for landfill garbage and broken glass. This is for broken glass or anything that would cut, so you'll put it in there so that the janitors don't get cut when emptying the garbage. I set up a table here with Sharpies that are clean, and when you use them, you put them in the used pencil box and they will be cleaned. There's also a first aid kit with bandages and some other cleaning supplies. Okay, the back room has two instruments you'll be using. The hardness tester on the right at station 11, and over on the left is the 5 kilonewton tensile tester. We'll be testing our polymer films at station 12. If you are doing the polymer synthesis lab, you'll be going to the chemical engineering hoods. So if you, after you get your goggles and coat, if you'll go this way, here you see the cart where I store everything for the lab. And then I'll set it up in here. This is room 63, and there'll be a station set up for polymer synthesis in each hood. As you can see, you run into the safety shower first thing. That's literally, and if you need it, this is where you'll go. I got the garbage can kind of under it so you don't run into the lever too much. And the eye wash in this lab is at the sink on the left. So this one you just swing and the water will come out and push the caps off. There you go. And that's the eye wash for this lab. I've also put in this lab these pads which we use for cleanup in case of a spill. They're absorbent, and if you spill any of the solvents or polymer monomers, you can just put these on top and quickly absorb it. The press for pressing your dog bones has been moved in here at a table in the center between the two hoods, and so you'll press your dog bones here and then take down into the 5 kilonewton instron. Okay, that concludes my tour of the Material Science Engineering Lab, and I hope you enjoy your experiments this semester, and look forward to working with you.